Storywaale is here with your story staple of short stories, book reviews, and much more. Visit our website to know us better, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon for regular updates. Nolites te bastardes carborundaro. Do not let the bastards grind you down. That is the essence of this whole book. Hola amigos, I am Prajakta, this is Storywaale Reviews, and today's review, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. In today's video, we shall be having a look at the plot development, the character building, and our general impressions so that you can decide whether you want to pick this one up or not. Written by the goddess of contemporary literary fiction, this book was published in 1985 by Macmillan and Stewart. The book has not gone out of print since then, can you believe it? And has sold millions of copies worldwide. The book has proven to be a legit legend. And if that was not enough for your high standards, then here it is. In 2017, the Hulu network released a series by the same name, The Handmaid's Tale, starring Elizabeth Moss, and it has received all the awards that you can think of. More than that, it has become a sort of a symbol for the feminist resistance movement all over the globe. There have been reported sightings of these women who walk in a line with their baskets in their hand and red cloaks and white bonnets. Can you imagine how creepy that could be? I would be terrified. And to think, all this began with one book. The Handmaid's Tale explores a dystopian future where the United States are overtaken by this puritanical dictatorship, the Republic of Gilead. While the masses struggle with a complete social breakdown, the bureaucracy is more worried about an impending mass infertility crisis, which brings into question their existence altogether. So how do you resolve this crisis? Simple, right? Get hold of the few remaining fertile women and treat them as recycling vessels to churn out babies for you. How brilliant. So these fertile women end up serving as handmaids to generals and commanders of the top bureaucracy and their wives who cannot bear children. The story is told from the perspective of our protagonist, Offred. Yes, that's how they are named, by the way. Off and the name of the man that they serve. Off Glen, Off Warren, Off Fred. And of course, their names change as they have birthed one man's child, thus fulfilling their duty, and move on to another man, to another house, to be called something else. Before calamity strikes, Offred is an independent young woman who is torn from her husband and her daughter and is placed in a center where they train these women to be handmaids, of course. After much training and torture at the hands of Aunt Lydia, Offred is placed in the house of Commander and his wife Serena Joy. Atwood creates a mind-numbingly horrific image right in front of the reader's eyes. The intricate attention to emotional reactions actually gives this book a different texture, which is both human and vulnerable even. Right from something as significant as sexual rituals performed with utmost indifference to something seemingly trivial like a game of Scrabble played with tremendous excitement, all events portray Offred's toughened emotions aimed at only and only survival. The story, however, is not without its set of limitations. Without giving any spoilers, when I reached the end, I was left wanting more. But of course, comforting the reader with silly things like closure, that's just not Atwood's style at all. Other than the want for closure, I also found myself desiring a little more fast-paced action rather than the introspection that we are made to dwell into all throughout. Also, I felt that a little more understanding about the peripheral characters would have been nice. That brings us to our section on the character development in the story. Let's check it out. Since the story is told from Offred's vantage point, we are introduced to all the other characters very much as she would see them. Of course, we see glimpses of these characters and who they are. For example, when you see Serena Joy, you see the rigid, indoctrinated beliefs and also the pitiable suffering. When you see Aunt Lydia, you do see her strictness and you are repelled by it, but at the same time, you also see this woman and her desire to raise her children in a way where they stand a chance to survive in this world, no matter what. But having said that, these glimpses are not really enough, especially considering that these characters are so very interesting. I, for one, would have really loved to see more about these characters coming along. And almost as if Atwood heard my pleas, she released the Testaments last year, where she talks about the life of Aunts of Gilead, the people who actually train the women to be handmaids. Do let us know in the comment section if you want us to review that book also. But as an independent venture, The Handmaid's Tale does not provide much background for other characters. But having said that, without knowing much about the other characters, the reader does end up feeling Offred's feelings for them. Her suspicions towards Nick the driver, her defensive stance towards the Marthas in the house, her anger and pity towards Serena Joy, her fear and defiance towards Aunt Lydia, and so on. We feel all of these feelings with her. Atwood manages successfully to turn the reader's psyche into Offred's psyche while making it abundantly clear that they don't even know her real name. The Handmaid's Tale is not a very long read, but it's also not a breezy one. It's brutal and emotionally taxing. Also, as brilliant as the language is used by Atwood, I did find myself going back to my dictionary more than once. Of course, the nerd that I am, I ain't complaining a bit. As for the emotionally taxing part, once you make peace with the injustice and the ever-looming dread of the portrayed existence, this one amounts to much more than just a book. One question that our readers might have, especially our male readers, is this one of those pseudo-feministic, women-specific book then? No, it is not. You don't have to be a genius to understand that women would relate more to the vulnerability portrayed in this novel, but it also does not vilify men at any point. Rather, it tries to dig into the social dynamics of power, gender, and religion, and the horrific concoction that they make up for. Despite being a heavy read, you cannot miss this one. It is amazing how a novel written almost 35 years ago is still so relevant. And what's more is that despite the pain and anger and worry and fear that you feel for them, these characters, especially Offred, Serena Joy, and Aunt Lydia, they haunt you with their realness. Atwood proves that she is not just a writer. She is a creator of an experience. And we highly recommend that you make this experience a part of your reading journey as well. So what does our readometer say? The Handmaid's Tale is a must read. So that's it from us today, guys. If you like this video, make sure you hit that big thumbs up right there. Also share it with your friends and tell us which books you would like us to review next. If you love stories as much as we do, then make sure you visit our website given in the description box. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We have a lot of fun stuff in store for you. Until we meet next, hasta la vista, happy reading, stay home, stay safe.